Jupiter has moved into the 5th degree of Aries now. And this is the triangle with wings. It's not the first time. It was here before. It's been retrograde over this point as well. So this is the 3rd hit of Aries 5, triangle with wings. Awareness of higher dimensions. Having awareness of the essential mystery of life, that we are facets of universal consciousness, unity experiencing duality. We find a zealous appetite, an innocent longing to know unity again. So we develop a taste for the transcendent state of being. We see that our complete life journey will be directed so that eventually we can go back to where we came from and then reside in such an elevated state. It is a huge amount to talk about here, really. Triangle with wings, a figure of 3. Very often associated with spiritual principles, of course. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, yin and yang in the Tao. So we've got this idea of threeness being that which raises us to a higher dimension of consciousness. Duality, I am this and you are something else over there. You know, that's separation. And the third force is that which binds together the other two into that which is no longer separate. So we have spiritual principle being that 3 combined, 2 polarized views into something which reconciles them. And then we say it lifts us. It's a kind of an image we have that heaven's up there and earth's down there. It's of course nonsense, like most of the wisdom that we've been given over the last 5,000 years. But this idea of being lifted up, it feels like that. I mean, when you go into those transcendental states, it really feels like you're going up somewhere. So it's not wholly misunderstood. Anyway, the idea that we can actually raise our game is not generally understood by the common folk. The masses think that you're born into a difficult situation, you suffer it, and then you die. And the very, very few of us that kind of realize that it's possible to do more than that. Not just keep to the morality of your religion, if that's your choice, or your social group at least, but also more than that. Taking religion or spiritual teachings or philosophy or life itself as though we were learning the same way we learn from a teacher. In other words, we don't know, and then we learn, and then we do know. It seems so simple. But the number of people that are actually doing that are using life as a school of sorts, as a process of learning something, which now you know and you didn't before. Very few people do that. Even people that actually spend quite a lot of time and money going to workshops and reading books. Do they actually move forward? Really move forward towards the transcendental state? And this is the challenge for all of us. When we're first coming across these ideas, perhaps in our late teens, we learn words like realization, transcendental and enlightenment and so on. But nobody else knows what they mean either, so we never get taught what they really mean. And some of these terms are kind of technical terms in Buddhism that have been, like many, many words from the East, have been changed into something else. Like karma, for example. That doesn't mean we'll get you back, which is kind of how it's taught. It means, oh, you haven't got that right, here's an opportunity for you to try again. Quite a different thing. Like sin and repentance, the same thing exactly. So when religion gets its hands on spiritual wisdom, it does something to turn it to the advantage of the people that are in control of the religion, of course. However, when mystics, individuals like us, without proper guidance, stumble blindly through the mess of life to come to some understanding of how it might be better, what we're looking for is this. Aries 5. We're looking to raise our game. And we learn how to do that by understanding the principles of what went before. In Aries 4, I've been talking about the understanding of polarization, that life is polarized and that both sides are relevant, and you won't really become happy and fulfill your yearning for the love of life until you have both masculine and feminine. And we go a bit further with that idea here, and we say that this idea of polarity is much more than just gender-based. Let me read you Dane Rudyard. I like what he says about his early Aries degrees. He's got a very definite background, and he introduces that into his understandings. Aries 5, a triangle with wings. The capacity for self-transcending. The capacity for self-transcending. This is the symbol of the desire to reach a higher level of existence, of pure aspiration or devotion, of bhakti. What has emerged in the first phase of the process of differentiation is becoming aware of the possibility of further upreachings. The principle of levitation is seen as one of the two essential factors in evolution. The emergent being glorifies and deifies it, but it is still only an ideal. At this stage, nevertheless, the whole being experiences a childlike longing for its eventual realization. A new dimension of being is envisioned, mobilizing creative endeavors. So we come to understand at some point, out of our childhood, but before adulthood is my personal experience, we come to understand that surely life has got some meaning. Surely I'm supposed to be doing something here. I was deposited here into these parents, and I've learned certain survival skills and so on. Now what? And Aries 5 is suggesting an answer to that. Well, now what? You levitate. You raise up. Raise yourself up. Now that process is not measured, actually, at all, in anything that can be recorded physically. So it's not attainment of certain abilities, like if you can open your third eye or you can see auras or whatever, then you're at that level. It's just not like that at all. Each of us has got an extraordinarily unique spiritual path. No teachings, therefore, can be said to be universal. Each individual has to take whatever teachings that they can find and make some pattern up for themselves, stick by that for a while, see that it doesn't work in certain ways, correct it, improve it, and onwards and upwards, we find ourselves more and more capable not only of understanding what's going on, but also of explaining it, and also of doing things differently because of our understandings and because of our explanations. This is very advanced considering how early it is in the zodiac. It is the 5th degree of 360. And here we have the process whereby in the 4th degree of Aries you balance male and female. And in the 5th degree of Aries you're able to notice that there's an improvement track. You can improve how you feel about life. You can improve what you achieve in life. And you do that by having this yearning for the transcendental experience. In Sufism, that yearning is called divine nostalgia. The sense being that we came from God. And it hurts a little bit to remember that experience wistfully. There's a part of us that knows we're in hell. And that we came from heaven, we came from God. We know that. There's a part of us that knows that, and really doesn't like this very much. We want to go back to God, and that is what gives rise to the confidence that mystics have that they can, they will, they must return to God, and that's really important to get your head around, because most people don't get that. They don't get that we're here to improve, that we can improve, that life doesn't have to be suffering. It doesn't have to be as bad as it sometimes is for people. We don't have to accept that. We can raise our game, and we can actually get to a level of realization, certainly enlightenment in 1 or 2 cases per century, perhaps. In our Western world anyway, there might be mystics hidden away in the Himalayas that are doing it, but there aren't that many people that get to be enlightened in life. But realized, there's a lot of people that understand that this isn't real, that this is an illusion. There's quite a lot of people that get to that level. And so knowing that you can is the motivation that you need to do what's necessary to do that thing. If you don't know you can because you don't know it exists, or you don't know that ordinary people can do it, then why would you try? You don't even bother. But if you know, yes, you can do it, ordinary people can get to that state of realization where, I promise you, things are much better. They're much happier when you're at that level. It's very much different. And you just do the work necessary to get there. And the confidence that if you do that work, you will get there is a lot to do with Aries 5.